And if you're an Apple Podcast, please leave a rating and a review. It will help us out tremendously. We're also on online digital radio. You can listen to us live on the Sportscast app, or if you go onto the website, thesportscast.net, you can see all the news and the latest and greatest. Today is college football signing some players, some leftovers. Anyways, joining us, we got a big show today. Today's a Super Bowl preview show. We do it usually every year. We got a big show today. We've done big shows for college football, but this time it's the Super Bowl, the big boys, the real pro league. We got Justin Riley, Nick Rossetti, Joe Toscano, and the one and only Victor Arocho. Welcome to the Sportscast.
Hey, what's going on? It's about that time, man. Super Bowl
Joe
Sunday.
Toscano, welcome to the big show.
Thanks for having me. This is great.
Nick Rossetti, he did a big show a couple weeks ago. How you doing?
Is it not bittersweet that we're at the end of the football season, fellas? Like, I'm excited, obviously, for Sunday, but a little sad that after Sunday, I don't really know what I'm going to do with myself after that.
Well, my saving grace is, doesn't the FCS start pretty soon? And then, so I mean, that's football. And then about a month or so, spring training starts for college, and hopefully an A-Day for us, Nick. But we got a little something.
But for you Alabama fans, your basketball team is ranked like in the top 10. So you got something to watch in February and March. Right,
Man,
Victor?
we don't know what to do.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Florida
State's coming up there.
Who? What?
Oh.
By
By
the way, national champions from last year.
So y'all claiming the title like UCF claimed the football title a couple years back?
I believe they gave it to us.
Oh, they gave it to y'all. I didn't know that. Okay, my bad.
By the way,
FSU, only team that had 2 first-round draft picks in the NBA.
Wait a minute.
You know how hard? You know how hard that is in basketball to have 5 guys, 2 get drafted in the first round.
Wait, didn't Robert Ory and Latrell Sprewell go in the first round? Same year?
Maybe
Alabama?
Maybe we're just Florida State then.
Oh.
Anyways, Florida State got a big signing day, right, Nick? They picked up a 4-star, didn't they?
Florida State? Yes.
I don't know his name.
Exactly his position, but yeah. I mean, Mike Norvell. Like, I always really liked that hire. I liked what he did at Memphis, and obviously they had COVID affected a lot of different programs differently. It affected them in a really negative way. A lot of people remember them dodging that Clemson game. I think that's a solid hire, and they got some transfers too, using the transfer portal as well. So that could be a program to watch out for here in the next couple of years if Mike Norvell can really steer the ship the right way.
Mike Norvell doing some special things in FSU, but this is the NFL Super Bowl preview show. Super Bowl 2021 LV Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Some are calling it the current GOAT versus the future GOAT. Let's go for a quick synopsis over this game. What are your thoughts? Joe Toscano, we'll start with you. What do you think about this matchup?
I think it's going to be very interesting, possibly very close. Both of these teams are just at the top of their game. The Chiefs look unstoppable, but the Bucs look really good too. So I think it's a very interesting matchup. I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I am very intrigued. I think it's going to be a close game.
Victor Rocho, tell us the parity of this game. What are the storylines are you going to look for in this matchup?
The storylines I'm going to look for in this matchup. Oof. There's too many of them, but let's go with the first one. The first storyline is going to be Kansas City's offensive line. Right? How are they're in trouble? I think their backup center now is in COVID protocol, going against that defensive line for Tampa. So that's number one. The second storyline on that is to dovetail is how is that going to affect Mahomes? And when I say that, it could affect Holmes both good and bad. He scares me anytime he starts running towards the line of scrimmage.
Justin Riley, you watched the AFC Championship game really closely when the Chiefs played the Bills. Tell us, what are their weaknesses for this game?
To be honest with you, offensively, I don't see any weaknesses. That's about the most put together offense as you can possibly get. The chemistry is just absolutely amazing, and it's not just one guy, it's not just two guys. It's everybody coming together as one. Man, just they're constantly in sync, and they're doing what they do. And Buffalo didn't have an answer. Definitely defensively, they couldn't do anything to stop them. So the question at the offensive line is really going to determine how well this offense responds against a great defensive front, like Victor just mentioned. And that defensive front we just mentioned is really caught fire at the right time. I mean, they made life a absolute living hell for Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers more specifically.
Nick Rossetti, we'll stick with the Chiefs. As Victor was saying, their O-line. Do you think they have some issues there?
Yeah, absolutely. I think with they now have a starter and a backup that's going to be missing this game, as Victor mentioned. And it kind of ties into my theme of how this game might go. And in my mind, this is very similar to the 2008 Super Bowl, which was the Patriots versus the Giants. And if you remember back to that game, the real difference maker in that game was the Giants front seven. Guys like Justin Tuck and Michael Strahan made Brady's life a living nightmare. And I think that a key to this game, if the Bucs are going to have any chance of success, is to follow that same formula. And what better way than to have, multiple starters on Mahomes' offensive line missing. Now, Mahomes is obviously an athlete like we've never seen before, in my opinion, and that may, lead towards scramble plays, which he really does better than anyone in the league, even if they try to get after him. So it'll be really intriguing, but I think that one of the keys to success in this game for Tampa Bay specifically is going to be able to use their dominant front seven and get after and rush the passer, and kind of see how that plays out.
Hey, real quick, JP was on the Giants team when they beat
the
Patriots.
JPP.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was.
Let's not confuse. He has experience going after goats.
Yeah, it's the same goat.
Joe.
No, this time he's not going after that goat.
Oh, right.
He's on the same team.
Right.
Joe, would you like to piggyback on what Nick said?
I think both teams are going to try to be aggressive offensively and defensively. I mean, one thing that's really fun is that they played in week 12. So they kind of know each other, which I think is going to be very interesting. And in that game, we learned a lot. Like, maybe you should cover Tyreek Hill and not let him get, almost 1,000 yards in one game. So,
Yep.
They're going to learn a lot from that game. They're going to learn a lot from each other. And these are kind of different teams from week 12. So it's going to be very interesting how they adjust. But, whatever game plans you have, like if the Bucs decide to try to run to keep the Chiefs offense off the field, that's not going to help much when you're down, 10, 15 points. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this all plays out.
Justin Riley, in week 12, the Bucs, I believe, used zone defense against Tyreek Hill. Do you think they'll find a solution to stop this rapid player?
Let's be honest, there's really not a solution to him. It's more so of just be able to limit him to what he can do. The fact is, he's going to get his regardless.
You think so?
Yeah. I mean, it's just going to happen. If you sit there and try to base your defense around stopping him, I think you're going to make a mistake. You just got to kind of limit what he's able to do.
Nick, can the Bucs stop Tyreek Hill?
No. Why? I mean, in my opinion, he's the best offensive player on any team, on any team in the league, and particularly in this game. I think even if you double him, that's going to you can't double him, because if you do, guys like Travis Kelce, guys like Williams on the outside, and it's just, you can't do it. So I think that you kind of to what Justin's point said, let him keep him in front of you. Don't let him get behind you. But if you're going to give him the 10-yard slant routes for first downs, as long as he doesn't get behind you, that's how I would. If I'm trying to think of the Bucs defensive coordinator's name, but if I were him, that's how I would try to defend him.
Ted Bowles. Victor Rocha, you're not in your head. Talk to me.
Look, two things. The Bucs lost by 3 points, right? It was 27-24. Yes? 27-24.
Correct.
They weren't even fully rostered yet, right? Their defense wasn't playing like they are. Tyreek Hill, I agree with Justin. Great players are going to get theirs. I just think he's not going to get his like he would normally get because of the offensive line for Kansas City and the defensive line for the Bucs. It's not going to be enough time for him to get downfield as much. I think Kelsey's is going to scare me more than Hill. Hill's still going to get his. I mean, he's dangerous on that quick first down. He's really hard to cover. But don't forget, the Bucs also got their own speedster. I mean, he may be a white guy, but he ran a 4.3.
Gotti Miller.
Okay? So all I'm saying is that Tyreek Hill's kill teams downfield. They're not. Mahomes is not going to have that time. The only thing he's going to have, though, when he gets time is, and if I still say he drops back farther than any other quarterback, so he could run towards the line of scrimmage. And when he's running towards the line of scrimmage, is when he's the scariest.
Joe, I see you waving at me. You got something to say about that? What you got to say?
That game that they played, yeah, it was close. It was 27-24. But for most of that game, the Chiefs were killing them. The Buccaneers came up with 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter to make it close. But for most of that game, it was destruction. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to go. I know they'll make adjustments, but from that first matchup, it wasn't as close as it looked.
Yeah, but wait a second. They also gave a 10-point lead to the Bills. Right, so that team is up and down.
That was fluky.
I'm just saying to you, no, that's not fluke. Kansas City's been known to give up points. Kansas City's known to give up points early and then coming back. That's going to be really tough against Bucs. They can't get behind the Bucs. Is all I think. They cannot get behind on the Bucs.
Justin, why did the Bills go ahead 10-0? Against the Chiefs?
Well, it's just making capitalizing off of mistakes. It wasn't like they did anything that just wowed Kansas City. It's just they got the ball back off a turnover. They scored, and that's it. There wasn't anything magical about it. I mean, if you get the ball that deep or in the red zone, you're supposed to score. But they didn't really blow the doors off of the Chiefs defense.
Well, wasn't one a return, an interception for a touchdown?
No, it was just
fumble.
It was a fumble.
So one was a defensive score.
Right. And then, there was a field goal.
So now take that off the scoreboard. I mean, those things happen in the game, but it's not going to happen all the time.
Nick Rossetti, you're done, Justin?
Well, I was going to add the point, you're talking about Mahomes may not be able to get anybody down the field. Well, the thing is, I kind of got to point out the fact that he's just as dangerous with the underneath throws to Hardeman or Hill. I mean, those guys are dangerous wherever you place them in the field. So if you take away the deep ball, they're still going to kill you down low. So you really can't say that if he can't go downfield, it's going to hurt him.
No. What I said is that Tyreek Hill's still going to get his, but he's not going to get his in such massive yards deep.
Okay.
And then one. And number two, what I said is that Mahomes, if he gets downfield, is because he's so great at running to the line of scrimmage with his head always looking downfield. And he could run. So he's either going to run or he's going to throw. He's dangerous when he's his most dangerous running towards the line of scrimmage. Does anyone disagree with that or agree with that?
Oh, I totally agree with that.
I think we all agree with that. Yeah.
He's dangerous everywhere.
Joe's dangerous. Okay. Travis Kelce, Nick Rossetti, you breaking down these players really well. Tell us about this guy. I mean, can the Bucs stop him, or can they just at least slow him down 10%?
Well, he's the best tight end in the league for me. He's the best tight end this league's seen in a really long time. Most athletic tight end I think I've seen in quite a long time. Shifty, can get past guys. You can't put a linebacker on him because he's too fast, and you can't put a safety or a money guy, as we would call him, on him because he's too big. So he's, his talent is exponential in terms of how Eric Bieniemy schemes him as well, schemes him open a lot. And I think that plays into a lot of this how Kansas City's offense runs so efficiently. But to the theme of this conversation, I wonder what stopping someone completely, absolutely not. But limiting this Kansas City offense, I think they can. But in my mind, it really comes down to how do you want to defend them, right? And there's really two options in my mind. Number one is you drop 8 and keep everything in front of you and let Kansas City march up and down the field from the 20 to the 20. But when you get into the red zone, that's when you lock down. Or you can be super aggressive, play one-on-one on the outside, and put 7 in the box and try to get after Mahomes. I wouldn't personally do that. I think that's a terrible idea. But if you, particularly to your Travis Kelce question, if that's something that the Tampa Bay Bucks try to do, then I think he's going to have his typical 9 to 12 catches over 100 yards and probably 2 TDs in this game.
Right. Joe Toscano, Travis Kelce, is he a factor that the Bucks should worry about, or put their focus more on Hill?
That's the thing. You stop Kelce, you have to deal with Hill. You stop Hill, you have to deal with Kelce. You try to stop both of them, you might have to deal with Sammy Watkins or McCole Hardman or Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So you lose either way. And it's that old phrase, you can't stop them, you can only hope to contain them. And that's all you can hope that you give up only 10 to Tyreek Hill instead of 90. You only give up a little bit to Travis Kelce, but I mean, it's almost an unstoppable attack. And it's almost the only way I think the Bucks can hope to win is if they keep him off the field with a good running attack.
Seems like we know who Joe's going to pick for this game. Justin Riley, let's talk to the Bucks. I mean, switch to the Bucks. They got weapons too. They got AB. They got Mike Evans. They got Fournette. How are their weapons?
I'll help you.
Okay.
They got Gronk. They got Bates.
Cameron Brate. Scotty Miller.
They got Scotty Miller.
Godwin.
Fournette. They got Godwin. I mean, they're stacked. I mean, and we're talking about all this, who we're going to stop and so forth with friggin' Kansas City and so forth. You got a depleted offensive line. You guys act like these guys they were doing this all year without an offensive line. That doesn't happen. That just does not happen. Okay, it doesn't happen. They're not gonna play. Their defense is awesome. They're not gonna play to stop one player. They're gonna play the way they've been playing, and they got great edge rushers. So you want to talk about weapons, and with my man Antonio Brown coming back, I am telling you right now. First of all, I'm picking the Chiefs, so there's the Bucks. There's no confusion there. I'm picking the Bucks.
Everyone heard the show last week. Yeah.
Number one. Number two, is you forget what I said. If Antonio Brown scores TD deep, it's over. The second he scores a deep TD, just it. Enjoy the commercials.
Justin Riley,
the commercials.
Get back on that. You're pretty unbiased towards the Bucks usually. Tell us about this team. Is this team capable? I mean, they're loaded with stars, a little older, than the Chiefs. But what do you think about this offensive weapons that Tom Brady's doing and doing like the deep throws?
Well, first of all, like you said, no team here is lacking star power. There's no question about that. AB, you got to think AB is going to be a little bit motivated because doesn't he get a little extra bonus there if he scores a touchdown? So Victor brought this up in his show last night. So I think he'll be motivated to play. I think he'll be motivated to play just because it's a Super Bowl. But what kind of effect is he going to have? I don't know. I'm not really looking to AB to be the guy who takes over the game. I'm looking. I'm looking to Mike Evans.
That's not what I'm saying.
No, I'm not. I know that's not what you're saying.
On their streak going towards the Super Bowl, he scored a touchdown in every one of those games except for the one he was out, and that was it. So it's not that he's going to be the guy If he gets that throw, that means they're worried. You got to worry about him deep. That's a problem.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like
you
got to worry about
account
Tyreek
for
Hill.
him.
You got to worry about Tyreek Hill deep, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
And I'm not saying totally disregard what he can contribute or disagreeing with your point. He's just not going to be the focal point for me. I'm still bitter about his what he did to the Steelers anyway, so I don't care much for him.
We'll touch on that. Yeah,
but Mike Evans is my central guy right now, and I really do want to see what they do in the run game. I want Fournette to take over and just wear them down. Can they do that? I'm a guy who believes in the ground and pound offense and wearing people down, and that's how you keep a high flying offense like the Chiefs off the field. So will they be able to have that kind of success against Kansas City? So I'm looking at the running backs, and I'm looking at at Mike Evans. And Gronk needs to get his too every now and then. But I will say this: I don't think the chemistry between Brady and the Bucks is as strong as Mahomes and his a plethora of receivers.
Good point. I want to go with Nick.
That's just my thought.
Your thoughts are respected here. Nick, obviously Tom Brady is an important player, but besides Tom Brady, Nick, which player has to carry it a little bit more?
Well, in my opinion, I want to look at a guy like Levante David, linebacker on the defensive side of things. I think he's one of the most athletic linebackers in the league. Guy is a tackling machine. And in order to keep the Chiefs out of the end zone and keep them in front of you, which is how I think they should game plan this scheme here on Sunday, then I would say that Levante David's going to have to be, running up and making a lot of tackles one-on-one, and he can't really miss many against a lot of shifty guys on that offense. So in my opinion, my guy to watch out for on the defensive side of things would be Levante David. Victor, one point I did want to mention to you specifically and really bring it up to the rest of this panel. I just want to talk about the last 5 games that Tampa has played, the last 5 games, who they've faced in the last 5 games. So 3 playoff games and the last 2 regular season games. Let's go through it. The Lions, the Falcons, the Washington football team. Taylor Heineke started that game. A Saints team with a man with multiple broken ribs and a collapsed lung, and Aaron Rodgers and nobody else. That's the last 5 games they've played.
Great.
When have they seen an offense like Kansas City in the last 5 or 6 weeks? They haven't. They haven't.
Good point.
Right.
So, in my opinion, you can game plan all you want, but when it comes game time on Sunday, it's been a while since they've seen a team like this. Now, to your point, you could say, well, they're practicing against a very high octane offense, which makes sense, but in my opinion, it's been a while. And going back to Joe's point, the game that they played earlier this year, it was 17-0 in the first half. Like, the Chiefs took their foot off the gas clearly, but that game could have got ugly fast. Now, just in my opinion, that
17-3.
Okay, 17-3.
Number one. And number two, they never take their foot off the gas. Don't ever say that. There ain't no NFL team is going to ever take their foot off the gas.
Oh, okay. Well, in my opinion, they can score at will. The Bucs have not seen an offense like this in weeks. Good luck.
Nick makes a point. Victor, you want to say anything else before we head to Joe?
He makes a good point on the teams that they played, but you can't since I played sports and everyone that I've ever heard play sports, I can't pick who I'm playing against. I'm just going to play who I got to play against. And they played well. There were the turnovers. They played well. Their defense has been on fire. Regardless of who they played, they're on fire. He went and Brady went through away 2 Hall of Famers. I mean, you could say what you want, but Breeze rocked them, killed them in the regular league.
What, before he broke his ribs?
Right.
He shouldn't have played. It's his fault.
Good point.
He shouldn't have played. He hurt his team then. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the result would have been if you went with Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston.
Taysom Hill was out too. Taysom Hill.
Yeah, right. But
Winston's Justin Riley's favorite player.
We know the result if Jameis would have been playing.
Yeah. Hey, Hueytown, right, Justin?
That's right. Hueytown's finest right there.
Yeah.
All right. Nick, anything else before we move on
No,
to Joe?
sorry. Joe, go ahead.
Joe, go for it.
First of all, Levante David is he. I don't know if he's going to play.
Is he COVID?
No, hamstring.
Oh
No,
no!
no.
Wow.
Yeah,
Out to
that's
madness,
huge.
Joe.
That's huge.
That's wow.
That's huge. Also,
Say that again.
Antonio
What was
Brown might still have that knee issue. And I was
Joe,
going to say
one more time for Victor,
what?
the player that was injured. I missed it.
Levante David.
Levante
Levante
David.
Davis. Okay,
David.
go ahead.
Antonio Brown also was might still have a knee problem. That was going to be my X factor. We're talking about, you mentioned what he did to the Steelers. We're talking about one of the best wide receivers of this generation. And he's had all his problems. But when you have a team, and we talked about how loaded the Chiefs are, but you're right. You have a team with Godwin, who's a beast, Evans, who's awesome, Scott Miller, who's good, but Antonio Brown is your fourth wide receiver, and he's one of the best ever. That's amazing. And we're not even talking about Jones or Fournette or Gronk and hey, don't forget Cameron Brate.
Cameron Brate, man, he's good too, right, Justin?
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
The Bucs are loaded too. But yeah, I mean, when you have Antonio Brown as your third or fourth or fifth option, that is just a great option to have.
So you're saying Antonio Brown is your X factor, or would have been?
He could be. He could have a huge game. Remember, we're talking one of the best players to ever play, one of the best wide receivers ever. Remember what he did before he went crazy.
Yeah, Justin Riley, can you concur that if Antonio Brown is 100% healthy, which he could play this Sunday, could he have become an X factor?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I could basically sit here and repeat everything Joe just said. I mean, he's arguably the best one of the best to ever do it. And if you got a guy like that at 100%, yeah, this guy can go off at any point during the game and just set the world ablaze. So yeah, he can be an X factor, but we just have to wait and see, what kind of health level we're looking at.
I think Antonio Brown, the X factor he's going to play is that one or two big plays. He's not going to be, you know what I mean? The X factor is that downfield. That's what I'm saying. In the games he played against the lousy teams that Nick mentioned, right? He scored a touchdown in every single one deep. He didn't have a lot of passes received. He didn't have 15 catches. He had 4 or 5 for like 80 yards.
Before we move to Nick, Joe, who is your X factor right now?
My X factor, what, for the Bucs?
For the Bucs, yeah. We know the Chiefs is Hill probably, but for the Bucs, who is your X factor currently?
I mean, I would say the main option is Godwin, but like I said, Antonio Brown could be that home run hitter. Don't be surprised if Jones has a big game either. If the Bucs are able to get ahead and stay ahead, and they can work that running game and keep the Chiefs off the field, that could be the whole game right there.
Before Justin Riley, quarterbacks, Brady versus Mahomes. What are your thoughts about that? You think Brady has the more like the most confidence, or do you think Mahomes has as much confidence as Brady does?
I mean, I don't think either one of these guys would be here if they didn't have the confidence for it. I mean, these guys are. One is labeled the GOAT. I mean, he's been there, he's done that. He knows what it takes to win. So he's going to have the confidence, and you have the next guy who's been anointed as the GOAT in training. So yeah, they both have the confidence. So you go ahead and throw that question out, and it's going to be the matchup to watch the most. I want to pose a question to you guys because Stephen A. Smith talked about this earlier this week. He contends that if Patrick Mahomes does not beat Brady, that completely throws his name out of the hat for being the next GOAT. What do y'all think about that? Me personally, I think it's a bunch of bull. I don't think that his legacy is dependent upon what happens in this game.
Victor has an answer for that, I bet.
Yeah, I disagree with that. I mean, the only thing that affects him is he didn't get the chance to beat the best that there was. That's it. But that kid is going to be incredible. Brady lost to Eli twice, right? And I'm a Giant fan. I'm happy, but I mean, he lost to Eli twice, and Mahomes is a lot better quarterback than Eli, right? He lost to Nick Foles. I mean, come on, Nick Foles is not even in. He won't make the Hall of Fame. He's going to have a statue in Philly. So I disagree. I just think it's a nice to have to be able to say.
Right.
But, you know, he also could argue that team was built to win the Super Bowl, whether Mahomes was in the league or not. I mean, that team's stacked. You heard what Joe said. I mean, they're stacked. So I don't think it's going to hurt him. I think that kid's going to be great. He's a special, special player.
Nick, any answer on what Justin's reference on Stephen A. Smith?
Yeah, and I 100% agree with what Victor pointed out. But just to play devil's advocate and to make it interesting,
Love it.
guys, it's really, really hard to win in this league. Drew Brees is going to retire with one Super Bowl win. One. Now, I'm not saying that Pat Mahomes is not going to make it back here and he's not going to, play on some really great teams. But all I'm saying is that we don't know what the future holds. If you told me 10 years ago that Drew Brees would only win one Super Bowl in his whole career, I would have said that's nuts to me, particularly with the types of teams he's played with in New Orleans. All I'm saying is that we don't know what the future holds. In particular, when Mahomes once that rookie deal is over and he starts making that big money, it's going to be hard to keep all of these pieces here on this team, particularly on the offensive side of things. So, we don't know what this team is going to look like next year, the year after. And I understand how much of a great talent that Mahomes is, but I just think that if you get here, you need to win. Not saying that it affects his legacy. In my opinion, Mahomes could retire on Monday and he's a Hall of Famer. But if you get there, you need to win. And so, in my opinion, I think that this is his chance to do that. And like I said, you never know if you're going to get back. You really don't. So if you make it, you better win. And look at a guy like Cam Newton. And that's the last I'll say.
Oh God.
Cam Newton, wow. Joe, any thoughts over this?
If Mahomes wins and if the Chiefs win, that's 2 in a row, we're looking at another dynasty.
Yeah.
That's a little scary. They become the team to beat. They become like the Patriots, the evil empire. And if Brady loses, nobody's doubting that Brady is the greatest. But if Brady loses, he kind of becomes the LeBron of football. Yeah, you've been to the championship a whole bunch of times, but you also lost a whole bunch of times. He'll tie, I believe, Tarkinen for the most Super Bowl losses. So nobody's doubting that Brady's, what his standing in football all time. But another loss doesn't look so good for Brady.
Victor Rocho, I saw your face. It looked beautiful when you're hearing Joe's answer. Tell me about Brady's legacy in the Super Bowl.
Get my dogs moved on the other side. Brady has the least amount to lose. And I think, if anything, he's going to be back there again next year. Number one. Number two, his 10th Super Bowl. His 10th Super Bowl. They ranked. There's no. The top 5 quarterbacks that went into Hall of Fame entered the Hall of Fame at the age of Brady right now. And it's a 5-year waiting period. So I don't think it's going to affect Brady one way or the other, especially against Mahomes. I don't think it's going to affect Mahomes' legacy. But let's get back to that side. Let's not forget, Andy Reid's been to the NFC Championship several times with I forgot his name. McNabb.
Yeah.
I mean, so Andy Reid's a great coach, and Bieniemy should be a head coach somewhere else. So
Amen.
The fact that they're not going to be back, I don't care who's on their team. He's going to keep building that team, and that city believes. Kansas City got great fans. So does Tampa Bay, by the way. But Kansas City's got really, really great fans. And a shout out to my buddy Pelham McDaniels, who passed away last year. Played 7 years for the Kansas City Chiefs. He was able to see the Chiefs win their Super Bowl. He was only 52, and it's Black History Month, and he's African American. And if you get a chance to look up Pelham McDaniels III and see the things he's achieved in his life in 52 years, he's a guy I looked up to. I just wanted to shout out to him since he's a Chief, and I'm sure he's looking down upon it. But again, just remember who we're talking about. Andy Reid with McNabb. And McNabb I loved. I thought it was great, even though I'm a Giant fan. But Mahomes is above all those guys. So there's a lot of mixture that's happening with this. And next year, the salary cap is going down.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Ooh.
Guys, one point I wanted to make, Victor, you brought up fans. I don't know if you guys saw this report, but so you guys know that the game is being played at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay. It's technically supposed to be a neutral field game, so they are not letting Tampa Bay shoot off the cannons of their pirate ship that they have.
Man.
I figured they wanted.
when they have.
Come on.
Point. So I thought that was an interesting take that the NFL made.
I think they should do. I think that's natural. I think that's fair. I think they should do that. Right,
Justin Riley, put
that way.
Put the cherry on top on this Brady versus Mahomes.
The cherry on top is the fact that we actually get to see this. I mean, this is amazing. Made for TV. If you're a sports fan, this is your dream, man. Jordan versus Bird. It doesn't get much better than that, and you can only hope that they just light the field up on both sides, and that they just have an epic encounter. So, man, the cherry on top, it's just the fact, we get to witness this as sports fans. I mean, how cool is that?
Very cool.
Real quick, I want to add to that. What Nick was saying. I also feel we're blessed to witness Brady versus Breeze, Brady versus Aaron Rodgers. I mean,
Brady versus Manning.
Whatever the outcome was, right? We saw some great talent, regardless of how. I don't know how we're going to see all that again. And then you got the up and coming young guns. Josh Allen's going to be a young gun. Baker May. I mean,
Mac Jones is coming up.
Mac Jones.
That's right.
Or Jalen Hurts has got to get traded. So we were blessed, regardless of the outcome. Man, think about it. And every one of those games, no matter what happened, if the game is close, whatever quarterback has the ball in their hands last, I think that's the team is going to win.
Victor, that was very beautiful.
Joe, you pretty excited about Mac Jones coming to Pittsburgh?
My God, I was just going to say, please, whatever God you believe in, please no Mac Jones to Pittsburgh. I do not want that dad bod in this town.
Come on, man.
Really?
Please, no, please.
Oh,
dude, you got Mason Rudolph.
I do not want him.
Wow. Fine, you deserve Mason Rudolph.
Hey, Justin, let him roll with Dwayne Haskins. See how that goes.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Let him suffer.
See how that goes.
You know what Ben's going to make next year?
How much?
He's going to kill their cap, man.
Yeah.
They got problems.
They're going to fix that.
$48 million.
Yeah.
They're going to fix that.
You're going to fix that, Joe?
Yeah.
They send him to the
Ben's old. He's like, give me my check, my Social Security check of $48
Exactly.
Ben is an extremely old 38, and Brady is an extremely young 43.
Big difference there in health. Anyways,
get a Peloton, Big Ben.
Before we head into predictions, Nick, read us out the spread for the Super Bowl game this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. And before I even read the spread, guys, I wanted to talk about one last thing, and I've talked about this kind of a lot, but just think about this. Shout out to the NFL, man, honestly. Like, everybody loves to dog on Roger Goodell, but think about this season, think about the external circumstances and all the stuff we've dealt with, going back to March and missing OTAs and the training camp and the testing and the fans and all this different stuff. They didn't miss a single game. They played every single game they were supposed to. They played every single playoff game on schedule, and we're having a Super Bowl on schedule when it's supposed to be played. So big shout out to, the medical staff of every team and all the different personnel that made this happen for us fans. But yeah, to the spread. So right now, the Chiefs are -3, so they're favored by 3. Buccaneers obviously +3. On the money line, you're looking at Chiefs -170. I've seen that fluctuate kind of a bit with Bucks +145. And the over-under total is 56, which if I were a betting man, which I am, I feel like that's the easiest money in America. So if you guys are looking to make some money on that, good luck.
So what are you thinking, the over or the under?
Over.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Way over.
I don't know about way over, but I know.
I agree. I agree. I
don't know if it's going to be way over, but I think it's going to be a big.
Hey, all it has to be is 1 over. So
it's got to be 57. We win.
Right.
This is a standout here, Nick and Vic. I love it. Okay, so this heads into our predictions. We'll start with Justin. You can give a nice, good 60-second, and then your final score.
You ended this show already, man?
I mean,
we're ready to go. This is Super Bowl. I thought I came on, got dressed up. I got dressed up. It's a Super Bowl. You got to go to bed. That's what it is. You got to go to bed. You're gonna put your Snuggies on, right? Your Alabama Snuggies on.
No, I don't go that far.
Come on.
Justin owns a pair of those.
You're the producer, man. We're ready to go.
I'm more of a boxer and shirt guy. Anyways, Justin, tell us your final prediction, final score, 60 seconds.
First of all, shout out to Victor jumping on tonight, looking like prime time. All he needs is that gold chain, man, and he's there. No, this is going to be a game of the ages. I think it's going to be a back and forth. That's what we're hoping for. It's going to be epic. My biggest question is the Kansas City going to be able to handle that defensive front with the problems that we talked about earlier? Even if they do have a hard time, I think Kansas City still comes out on top. And my prediction is going to be Kansas City 38, Tampa Bay 31.
Joe Toscano, tell us your final prediction for the Super Bowl, LV.
Last year in the Super Bowl, it was Chiefs against 49ers. 49ers, an excellent defense. They shut down the Chiefs for most of that game, but then the Chiefs turned it on in the end. The Chiefs wear out people. That could happen again. Even if the Bucs have a lead, the Chiefs can just turn it on. Look what happened in the game against the Bills. They just decide to turn it on. So I think the Chiefs are unstoppable, whether they have a lead or not. If they have a lead, if they get to a lead like they did in their regular season game, then the Bucs are going to have to come from behind, and Brady has the ability to do that with that team. So either way, whether one team gets a lead, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. I want to say, 38-31. I'll say Chiefs, but it would not surprise me if Bucs win.
That same score as Justin. Nick Rossetti, all the way from Austin, Texas. What's your final prediction and score?
Guys, I think it's going to come down to the offensive line and defensive line play. I know we've been harping on that this entire conversation, but ye be warned, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If you stack the line with your typical base defense and go one-on-one on the outside, this is going to get ugly fast. So in my opinion, drop 8. Let them go 20-20 and see if you can stop them, from the red zone on. That would be my opinion. I don't think that's going to happen. I think Todd Bowles is too aggressive. I think they're going to try to play one-on-one on the outside all night. It's not going to go well. And in my opinion, I think both teams kind of play each other out. I could see, a low-scoring first quarter, and then things start to really open up. I'm going to go 41-28 Chiefs.
41-28 Chiefs. All of them pick Chiefs. Who is Victor going to pick?
$500 right now that spread will not cover. 1,000. Let's go. We're live. Hey. We're live. That is not going to happen. They are not going to score 41 points on the Bucs defense. It's not going to happen. The brother got a bad toe. He's got a bad toe. He got no defense. He got no offensive line. I mean, he's got a problem. So,
but they're going to adjust.
They're going to adjust to what? Your third string offensive line against that defensive line. Their defensive secondary has how many picks in the last several games? You can pick what you want. That defense is on fire. Right? So
I'm just going off of if you go down the offensive position.
41 points. I don't think they gave up 41 points.
Victor, the thing is, it's a lot different.
The Chiefs
than
have every check mark, every single one.
Okay. Well, you picking the Bucs, you picking the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Joe picked the Chiefs.
Everyone picked the Chiefs.
And you're picking the Chiefs too, there, Sleepy.
Nick is. I'm gonna wait till after you. No,
I'm
be Tampa.
There's no confusion. I'm picking Tampa.
I'm picking Tampa. I'm gonna go with the underdog.
I think that they're too banged up. If this was a full-fledged Kansas City team that came back before, that made them exciting and so forth, I'm with you. I just think they got problems, and he's injured. He's got a toe. He's got a rib that's a little bit injured.
Good
You
point,
know what
Justin.
I mean? But I say shoot, man, because I got to go over 56 because I'm going to back up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
That's a lot more points.
Somebody's got to score
I was going
30.
to say 27. I know. I was going to say
Somebody's
27,
gotta score
24 bucks. But let's go third. Oh, dang. Let's go 31, 28. How's that? Does that give me over?
Yeah.
Is that good, Nick?
Yeah, it gets him
20,
over.
30.
By close, it gets him over.
Well, because I don't think, because now that I think about it, 31-28. I just don't think they're gonna put up everybody's gonna put up all those kind of points. 31-28. I mean, you guys said they turned it off and they still only scored 27 points. And actually, they only scored 21 points. The offense only scored 21 points last time against them, and the defense wasn't rolling.
Joe,
How
you want to
much
say
you
something?
want to bet? How much you want to bet Chiefs? So I'm going to say Chiefs are putting up 41. How much you want to bet?
He said 1,000.
$500.
Yeah, he said
No.
$500.
Bro,
What?
Victor makes big bucks, man.
maybe
Look at his
50, but I'm
jacket.
not putting up
Look at his jacket.
Wait a second. Did my man Toscano, El Italiano, did he not just jump out at me? They didn't score 41.
This is a clip, Justin.
Bro,
right
I'm
there.
not rich.
Wait a second. But if you're sure they're going to score 41, take the
I'm telling
money.
you that. I'm saying the Chiefs are going to score 41.
Okay, then take the
I'll
500.
put my money where my mouth is, but not freaking 500.
Yeah.
I ask Justin. I only go north. So I'll
That
go
is
back
true.
into 750. I'll go to 1,000. They will not put up 41 points.
Well, I'm
There's
saying they
no
will
way.
put up
I mean,
I
I don't.
disagree with that.
What was the last high end? What was the last Super Bowl scores? I mean, that was that high. I think it was.
I will
San
research that.
San Francisco when they beat the Dolphins.
When was the last time we had this good of offenses, though? In
That's
a Super
true.
Bowl?
Last year.
Last year was pretty
San
high.
Francisco's offense?
Oh,
Kansas
God.
City.
That was good
No.
Lord. They were
Timeout.
The
Kansas
highest scoring
City.
Super Bowl
Yeah,
was
but
Super
look-
Bowl in
look, San Francisco's
1995
defense.
when the 49ers defeated the Chargers 49-26.
Okay, that's it. And then what's the next one?
And then
2018.
second highest was 2018. Eagles defeating
Eagles
the Patriots
41.
41-33.
Eagles 41-33. I like that score.
74
41.
points.
Just put say Chiefs 41, Bucks 33.
They won't put it. There's no
Fired
way
up.
They
they're
gave
gonna put
up
up
30 points to the Falcons. Like, golly. You don't think Mahomes is going to score 40?
But every scheme is defense. Guys, when you play defense, it's a different ball game. And when you're already
Yeah, but so is when you play against Mahomes and his crew.
when you're salivating against the fact that I'm going to get through this line a hell of a lot faster than I normally do, you know, as a
They'll dump it
defensive
off quicker.
as a defensive back, that's what you want. But you're not going to score dumping it off quicker. The offenses that dump it off quicker, which Brady's used to, it's really the West Coast offense, which is really a run game but throwing the ball. That's what that is. Okay, it's a short pass, 5 yards, short pass, 10 yards, short pass. If you're doing that, you're not putting up 41 points. You got to go deep.
And they will. It'll eventually open up and he'll hit.
You think they're going to score 41 points?
I
I do.
absolutely do.
You do.
Like I said,
It is a lot of
Okay.
points.
Yeah, but
It
if
is
you
a lot of
guys are that
points.
confident, okay, let's go. You do? You too, Nick?
Yes.
I mean, between all
I'll
of you,
put in
guys,
50.
you can all chip in. Hey, you all chip in.
All against Victor.
Let's go. I go $500. They are not going to score 41 points.
500 divided by $366, guys.
It'll be 160. No, but I want better than that. No.
That's
no.
my
66 on
fantasy.
the pot.
That's my fantasy.
And
win,
1, 2, 3.
Santiago, right there.
Wait a second.
I'm only
You
rich as
guys,
Twitter
look, you
followers.
guys,
Come on.
all three of you guys put up 200 to my 500. So if I win, I get 6. If you win, I pay out 500 and you guys split it. You do what the heck you want. But it's 3 of you against 1, unless just Santiago wants to get in this.
I am just a moderator.
Well, he picked the Bucks anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that's
the
right.
ref.
I'll put in 50.
He's the ref.
That's it.
All right, guys. Victor picks the Bucks. Everyone else picks the Chiefs. I picked the Bucks. 38-21 Bucks.
Ooh.
Let's not start debating here. All right. So we'll see
You
what
saying the
happens.
Bucks
Oh
are gonna
my!
score 41?
Wait, what?
Whoa.
Wait, what was your score?
Yeah,
38-21.
He's beating them by 17. That's a lot.
I know the future.
Dude,
Anyways,
a little bit of home cooking there, buddy. You look too close to Tampa there in Miami.
I mean,
we got a random question,
but guys,
today.
you got so many advantages also on the Buck side. Is just, they're playing at home. They're going to be able to, they're just going to have
6,000 fans.
25.
Hey,
oh,
it's not a home game.
So do the Chiefs. So do the Chiefs with Gary Dieter, right, Nick?
Hey, yeah, put my boy in the lineup.
Exactly.
What, the Chiefs? What?
The Chiefs do too with their secret weapon, Gary Dieter.
Yeah,
wide receiver from Alabama.
Oh, I thought
practice squad.
I thought you said Derek Jeter.
Me too.
No.
Seriously, me too.
No, he's moved up to the active roster now.
Oh, is he on the active roster now?
He's on the active roster.
Joe, you thought he said Derek Jeter also?
Yeah.
No.
I thought so too.
Derek Jeter lent his
disguise
house
him.
to Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, before we go, guys, what is your favorite Super Bowl snack? We'll start with Joe Toscano.
Pizza.
Justin Riley.
Gotta go with wings, man.
Nick Rossetti.
I'm going buffalo dip, but I want to ask you guys another question when we're done with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Justin, what now wings, but what sauce?
Buffalo sauce, man. Hot.
Okay.
If you may be more specific, if you're down here in the South, Bumhauer's in Tuscaloosa. That's where I get them
Shameless
from.
plug. Victor Rocho,
Yeah.
favorite Super Bowl snack?
Snack or just
Food item. You say pizza.
I'm just gonna go sausage and peppers sandwich with sauce with gravy.
Ooh.
You should know that.
Ooh.
Nick Rossetti, what's your question?
And I make my own gravy.
My question is, and if you guys want to make some money on it, you can do it online. Is what color will the Gatorade be that they pour on the winning coach? I'm gonna go red.
Good question.
I'm gonna go orange.
Victor?
Yeah, I would probably say red because they're both red teams.
Wow, yeah, you're
Last
right.
year it was orange.
Last year.
I think right now the betting odd favorite right now is I think it's
There's a
yellow.
line.
It's yellow.
Yellow,
Okay.
the original.
The original, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, drink some
Hold on a
Gatorade
second.
tonight. Super Bowl 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Justin Riley, what is the best way to reach you online? And tell us about your famous show on Tuesdays.
My famous show that everybody's been a part of almost. You can reach me online, Twitter at Justin Riley 7. I'm on Instagram at Justin Riley _7. Santiago mentioned, check me out on Tuesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. The Riley, Constant, Brown, and Smith Show. We're actually trying to come up with a new name, so that's just a working title right now.
Victor can help
But
out with that.
if you're not familiar with what we do, basically we're a bunch of Alabama guys who get together, talk Alabama football. And we also have former Alabama legends / NFL legends come on weekly, sometimes one or two, sometimes the whole dang team. So it's always exciting. We're 90% nonsense, 10% actual sports. So if you're looking for something a little different, feel free to jump on and see what we got. And if you want to feel a little extra, come on and give us a call like Victor Rocho does from time to time. But it's always a good time.
Joe Toscano, what's the best way to reach you? And I heard you also have a podcast as well.
I have a podcast. It's called The Donut Bag. I talk a bunch of stuff. I'm Joey Bag of Donuts, V7F on Twitter. I basically live on there. And occasionally Santiago decides to put me on Monday afternoon sometime. And, call me at the last second or whatever. But,
I need a co-host for today.
Always a fun time.
Hey,
so.
I get used to that lunchtime show you always put on, man.
I love being on.
No, okay. I
Put
mean,
me
I
on
can keep you
all-
on during the spring,
sounds
but
like
do you know NBA?
Okay, I don't know NBA.
See, there you go. I mean, it's only
With
6
the
months out
NFL
of the year.
draft, we can talk NFL draft, Joe. There you go.
NFL draft, I'd love to. I'm a
Absolutely.
big
We'll
fan of
love
that.
Bring
We'll
on the
have to see you
sport.
on Victor's show.
It's not cricket.
Anyways, Nick, what's the best way to reach you online?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at _Rossetti, ROSSETTI. You can find me on Instagram as well at _Rossetti77, and talking Bama basketball, Bama football, signing day, recruiting, pretty much anything you guys want to, as long as it's within a certain parameter. So catch me there.
Yeah, Victor Rocho, tell us the best way to reach you and also your famous show on Thursday nights. Someone asked me if Byron Jones played for the NFL.
Yeah, he played for
Yes, he
Minnesota.
did.
I should have said yes. Okay, go ahead.
Minnesota Vikings, and he played while Pete Carroll was there. He said Pete Carroll's a great guy. By the way, for the last game, for halftime, it was 20-7, not to 3. The time of possession for Kansas City was 36 minutes versus 36 minutes to 23 minutes, and they still only put up 27 points. They didn't score in the fourth quarter, right?
They're putting up 41 in this game.
I'm just telling you though, they had the ball a lot longer. So wait a second. Did I get my bet in? Did we get a bet in? All right, Joe, let's have some fun. All right, go ahead.
We can do it after the show.
I'll go 50 for you. Okay. Justin, you want in on this?
Sure.
50?
Yeah.
100? 200?
Justin can go for 2,000.
50?
When you start paying me for the Rallying Constant show, sure.
Yeah. Nick, you in on this, Rossetti?
Let's do 50, man.
Okay, so it's all right. 50.
Gutless
40,
bets.
All right, yeah. All right, 50. I'll bet all of you fit. So it's going to cost me 150 versus your 150. How's that?
Done.
All right.
All right. So just to have some fun.
All right.
To make it fun, we could talk smack during the ball. All right. Number 1. Number 2, you could reach me at on Twitter at VAROCHO. That's V Victor Arocho, AROCHO. Reach me on Twitter. You can reach me on my website, and it's easy, victorarocho.com. So it's VICTORAROCHO.com. That's my website for my company and several of the businesses that we do. And our show is every Thursday at 8 p.m. I co-host it with Byron Jones, who played for Tulsa and was drafted by Minnesota, played for the Minnesota Vikings. He's 3 years older than me. So he was a senior when I was a freshman back in high school. He's a great guy. He has locker room experience. But our show is about it's about the NFL. We talk about the NBA. We do some shout out with Tulsa. I'll talk about breaking news. So we talk all across the board. Justin comes on. We actually have some good talks, no, Justin? I mean, we talk
absolutely
across the board. There's no we'll debate or not, but everyone gets their piece. Joe and Nick on again Thursdays at 8 p.m. Please come on in and join. I'll let you.
Absolutely,
I let you in right away too, so we don't make me put on hold like the Justin Constant show. But you guys come in and we
go more caller friendly.
Yeah, we go around and we just ask different things, but we will talk all sports. I mean, I played all 3 sports, and my father boxed, so we've done a lot of different things. We have and we have some guests on our show, like some football refs. We're trying to get Kenny Anderson and some of the other players on. But it's an all around a sports show. We're not focused on any one piece. And one thing I like having Justin on, he has a good memory. So he'll remember things that I said that he goes, yeah, Victor did say that. Like, leave it at this. Right. Justin, I called you this morning because Justin had this awesome coach that was on yesterday on his show. And prior to him coming on, I was debating with that whole Alabama squad. I was saying, because they were talking about, was it Brian O'Brien?
O'Brien, yeah.
I said, at the end of the day, Nick Saban's going to pull the trigger. He's the guy. 20 minutes later, what did that coach say? Who knows way more than I do?
Yes, John Copeland, former all-world defensive end at Alabama, now a great coach, echoed the exact same thing when Marvin wasn't trying to talk over him.
Yeah, Saban runs the show. I mean, at the end of the day, he knows what he's doing. He knows, and O'Brien's going to be good. So, but you guys, you're always welcome on my show at any time. Come on in. You want to go, but we do talk all around sports. And just so you know, I'm a big Mike Tomlin fan.
Oh yeah,
that's for Joe. So Joe can go and
talk about Tomlin all the time.
Yes.
I think they were the worst undefeated team, but he's a great coach.
No doubt.
I think he's a great coach.
Anyways,
talk about my Ravens every now and then.
And I talk about the Raven. We call what's your team? Pittsburgh. What's your team, Rossetti?
The Ravens. That's where I'm from.
Oh, your Ravens.
From the MDV area.
Ravens. We talk about
he's an Alabama fan, so that's the X factor.
We didn't get a chance to talk about the Ravens when I told you. Look what happened to the Ravens in the playoff game. Once he gets shut down, that's a tough time.
He's gonna figure it out. He just needs some time.
He's young.
They need to figure it out.
He's still young. He'll figure it out.
It's not his fault. He just needs someone else. You can't go into, and I know it's Super Bowl, but you can't go into the game hoping that your quarterback's going to rush for 100 yards. That's not fair. Right. If you rush for 200 plus yards in any NFL game, you're doing pretty good. But if you're relying on 100 of those yards to be a quarterback, he's not going to last long, and it's going to be tough.
They need a passing attack.
And he can't make the outside throw. Anything outside the hashes, he just can't.
That he'll learn. But I'm just saying.
I hope he learns.
You can't.
I want him to learn how to deal with adversity and come back if he's down. He still is having a hard time fighting back when he's facing a little bit of trouble. I know it's a Super Bowl, Santiago, but I can go on about this.
Yeah.
That's why. You got Victor's shows tomorrow. If you guys want to go on, talk about the Ravens.
Why don't you leave us on live? And
last question.
Terry Bradshaw.
Can I get one last question?
Santiago, leave us on live. Let us keep going, man.
Yeah, let's go.
I gotta lock up the shop. Nick,
okay, all right.
Last word, Nick.
Last word, and we'll make it really quick. Who is the Super Bowl MVP? I'll go.
That's a good question. Great, that's beautiful.
Oh wow.
Tom Brady, if the Bucks win, and if it's the Chiefs, probably be Mahomes.
I'm going Kelsey. I think.
Okay.
I think he has a monster.
Joe?
Yeah, I mean, if the Chiefs are putting up 41, Mahomes is having a real good unless they do some flea flickers or something. Kelsey throws some touchdowns, so I would say Mahomes.
Or if Tyreek Hill scores all the touchdowns, right?
He should be MVP.
I think if MVP would be Mahomes, but if the Bucks win, it could be
Brady.
Brady.
No,
Brady.
I don't know if it'll be Brady. Doesn't
Ronald
always
Jones.
win because he doesn't always win the MVPs in every Super Bowl that he's won. So I think he knows how to manage the game. It could possibly be again like a Richard Dent, one of the linemen, defensive linemen, or it's going to be Godwin, right? Or Fournette. It's those two guys. Those two guys have a good game. It's going to change the game.
Bro, Leonard Fournette at Super Bowl MVP. I never thought I would hear the day.
Hey, he's been
Justin.
He's been running hard.
All right, Justin, word for you.
He couldn't run for more than 30 yards against Alabama, but he's going to be MVP of the Super Bowl. Man, one thing I like about the Super Bowls, a lot of times, sometimes there's the unlikely hero, a guy you don't see coming. I'm going to go with that route. I'm going to name McCole Hardman as the Super Bowl MVP for the Chiefs.
And Nick
plus
Rossetti.
2,500, what Justin just said, plus 2,500.
How about you, Nick? Who will be your MVP?
Travis Kelce.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Anyways.
I like it. And the last thing is that the sad part is I like the Chiefs. I mean, I love watching them.
Like every team.
No, because I like the story. I like Andy Reid. Remember?
Oh, I love Reid.
I don't like Andy Reid. You got Justin that.
I'm older than all you guys. So
anyway, this is
podcast. I like Andy Reid.
I love it. I love that man.
I like Mahomes. I like your Hill.
I like Bruce Arians. I like Dan Campbell.
I wasn't a big fan of Bruce Arians.
I wasn't either because he was terrible when he coached Alabama's offensive coordinator.
Stafford. You can reach us at the Sportscast1 on Twitter or at thesportscast.net. There'll be an article late tonight that will recap what happened today in college football. Signings and all that. See, Alabama, number one college football team in the country still, and they're not bashful to say it. No shame whatsoever. They're going to do it again next year. And, of course, catch Victor's show tomorrow. Friday, we might have Jeff Favre or Jordan Vargas. I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. Jeff could top it off. What's going to happen on Sunday? He's very unbiased. Or we have Jordan talk about the NBA and Brooklyn Nets because that seems like everything's going to happen. Joe Toscano closes out with something. No pressure.
I'm going to close out.
Okay, we'll have Joe and then Victor. Victor,
just do a double.
So much to talk about.
Let me just say real quick. You want easy money? You could bet who the MVP will thank first. He's going to thank his teammates.
True. I love you, Joe.
And he's going to Disney World. Oh no!
And he's going to drink.
Now-
He's
now
going to
with
drink some
COVID.
Budweiser.
Now with COVID.
Oh, an hour and a half away. All right, Vic.
All right,
What's
here's the deal. One, I am 1 year, so you guys will always remember my age. I'm 1 year older than the Super Bowl. Okay.
Do the math, guys.
I'm 56, and it's Super Bowl 55.
I thought you were 40.
Lies.
Still
You're not
like
that
he's
old.
15. Still
Yeah,
acting like he's 15.
and number one, number two. So that's just a good trivia. You guys always know. Shoot, Victor's whatever the Super Bowl is. I'm 1 year older, and then two. Since they added that extra week in the All-Star game, prior to that, every 5 years, the Super Bowl landed on my birthday. It was like the greatest
Oh, wow.
birthday.
Wait,
I've
Victor,
ever
when's your
had.
birthday?
This past
January
week.
26th.
Oh, so sorry to interrupt, but mine's February 4th, so mine's tomorrow. And
happy birthday.
Yeah,
now,
so now they
wow.
extend it. Now you're
every
going to get it.
Yeah, now every like 3 or
So
4
when
years.
I turned
get it.
21, the Super Bowl was on my birthday. So imagine that with me and my crazy Jersey boys. And it was awesome
right.
because you would go to a Super Bowl party and everybody would always have a cake for me.
That's nice.
Now I get nothing.
I'm
All
a
right.
July guy.
Except
I'm a
for
July
$150 I'm going to get.
All right,
We'll be-
I
audience.
take Venmo, cashier's check.
guy. Yeah.
And PayPal or Bitcoin.
PayPal,
All right, guys.
Bitcoin.
We got to go. We need to pay some bills.
Boo.
Super Bowl is this Sunday.